This self-made millionaire apparently thinks that $200,000 is chump change if you're a guy in your 20s. So let's check this out.
If you're a guy in your 20s and you don't have a Lamborghini, you should actually sit down and have like a serious discussion with yourself as to why you don't have a Lambo. Yeah. Because I realize now that it's so incredibly easy and there's so much money out there, and 200 grand relative to what is out there in circulation and what you can grab, especially now with AI tools that you can leverage like never before, 200 grand is chump change.
So he's going from brags to riches. A 24-year-old self-made millionaire, or at least self-proclaimed millionaire, is under fire for declaring that every man should own a luxury sports car by their 20s because $200,000 is chump change unless you're a lazy loser. If you're a guy in your 20s and you don't have a Lamborghini, you should actually sit down and have like a serious discussion with yourself as to why you don't have a Lambo. Scoffed Sebastian Ugorgia, whatever how you pronounce his last name, in the clip. The controversial influencer dropped the bombshell in podcast footage, which was recently reposted to Twitter, where it amassed 2 million views and untold raised eyebrows. The Detroit native claims to have made $8 million dollars in just 6 years from various ventures, ranging from creating a Google ad agency to YouTube and dropshipping, the e commerce practice of accepting customers' orders without keeping actual stock on hand. And a young baller, who reportedly had 9 cars by age 19, believes that anyone can follow suit. I realize now that it is so incredibly easy and there's so much money out there, insisted Georgi, who boasts over 825,000 YouTube subscribers. The dollar amount $200,000 relative to what is out there in circulation and what you can grab, especially now with AI tools that you can leverage like never before, $200,000 is chump change. He added, and people will say that I'm out of touch with reality and they can suck it. The big walleted braggart was subsequently torched over his boastful statement on Twitter, with the original video reposter writing, I think we need to halt podcasts until we figure out what is going on. If you're 25 and you don't have at least 47 Lamborghinis in your Lamborghini account, you need to seriously stop and think, snarked another. Meanwhile, what do you even do with a Lambo? Like, it's not a very convenient car, one realist chimed in. One Twitter critic declared, leverage AI, of course, why didn't I think of that? It all seems so simple now. And one naysayer accused Georgi of never working a day in his life. And here's the thing, right? I kind of like this one person's comment, like, what do you even do with a Lambo? Like, it's not a very convenient car. The thing is, what people don't understand about buying nicer cars is that the nicer the car that you get, the more of a hassle it becomes. Because, like, a scratch on the bumper might be like a grand, right? Replacing, like, tires might be like 3 grand. Like, for these expensive cars, like, for example, let's say that you were to be driving like a $15,000 or $20,000 car, right? You'll care about it, but at the same time, if someone ends up like scratching it while you like are parked at the grocery store, it'd suck, but it wouldn't be like the end of the world, right? But if you were driving like a $200,000 Lamborghini and you parked it at the grocery store and someone just keyed all over that car, well, that's like a $10,000 cost, right? Like, is a lot more of an issue than say if you were driving basically a beater car. The TikTok investors account, which curates financial content online, wrote, "Time to ban TikTok. Can't take the Gen Z gurus anymore. LMAO." The entrepreneur has since lashed back at haters on Twitter, claiming, "This 18-year-old kid I know started dropshipping a couple months ago. Did 12K by noon today with 30% margins and had to shut off ads because he needs a credit card, and you're still winging because I said you should be able to afford a Lambo in your 20s," he added. Grow up already. According to the aforementioned YouTube clip, Gheorghiu's parents moved to the US from Romania in the 1980s. He worked various jobs in high school, including at Taco Bell, which apparently that's him at Taco Bell, and a car wash. It was during the latter job that the influencer bought an Infiniti G35, which inspired the young man to start flipping cars. He had originally aspired to be a neurosurgeon, but quit college to sell real estate after coming across fellow finance influencer Graham Stephan, who earns passive income by selling homes and renting property. I was like, yo, I want to do that. I don't actually want to work. The budding businessman recalled his inspiration. I want to have freedom to do whatever I want and be rich. By age 19, Gheorghe reportedly had a net worth of $70,000 to $80,000 due to his work in real estate, on his YouTube channel, and dropshipping. Now a millionaire several times over, the Romanian American has reportedly made between $25,000 to $100,000 in a day and between $300,000 to $400,000 profit in a month per another YouTube clip. However, he aspires to go even bigger. $1 million a month would definitely be a record for me, declared Gheorghe. I don't even know how you pronounce his last name. I apologize, but this is the thing. I don't know if he's actually made that type of money. He might have, right? But that's not really the thing that I really want to talk about. The thing that bothers me is that he basically claims that, like, pretty much, if you're in your 20s and you haven't made, like, if you don't have, like, a $200,000 supercar, then you're basically stupid. That's pretty much what he's getting at. And it's just not really a right way to go about it because there's a lot of very intelligent people who simply will never get to the point where they will actually be making that type of money to actually be able to afford a car like that. There's a lot of hard workers that will not get to the point where they're able to afford a car like that. Like, you either have to have a very good product, a very good service, or have things line up exactly right so that things can like flow towards you. Like, we're talking about, like, if you're willing to spend like 200 grand on a car, right, for fun, you need to be basically making minimum like 400, $500,000 a year after tax, like, for you to really justify that expense. Because that's a lot of car to have. Because also, that's probably not going to be your only car that you own. You probably have some sort of like more practical car, right? So we're talking maybe like nearly 250, $300,000 worth of cars. Like, you have to be making a lot of money every year to justify those types of expenses. Let's see some of these comments. Credit to him if it's facts. Regardless, he received the coverage he wanted. I had a vet when I was 17. Chevrolet Corvette. Oh, Chevette. Prove it, I say. It's all paper money, nothing in the bank, like FTX and other Bitcoin millionaires. He flips cars but never walked in and bought one cash at a dealer. Tell me you'll be on an American Greed episode one day without telling me you'll be on an American Greed episode one day. Interesting comment about a Lambo. A friend that sold both Lambo and Ferrari said that Ferrari buyers usually had the cash and the Lambo buyers were highly leveraged. He also said that almost all the Lambo buyers he worked with were either now in jail or had been in jail. The thing is, personally, I like the look of Lambos over Ferraris, but a lot of these like online entrepreneurs or whatever that do end up having Lambos, a lot of them basically do kind of get in trouble with the law. A Romanian who is not a scammer? Weak self identity, low self worth, no sense of direction with money on paper being his only goal. He is propping his defective ego with expensive and high maintenance, money consuming objects. Likely leased or short term rented, a loser at the banquet of life. I give him 5 years before the feds indict him for fraud or some kind of financial crime. You've made it when you have a Lambo. Amazing. A flash trash car with zero pedigree as a racing car has made it this far. Little do they know it's owned by Volkswagen Group. Enjoy your digital selves. Let's see. Maybe with all your money, take some courses in humility and not to be so obnoxious. The thing is, he got basically the result that he wanted was for clips to go viral because that's going to bring more attention to him, more attention to his brand, and he's going to end up basically making more money. Like that's what's so crazy about like the internet. You could end up basically creating a wave of hate, but a percentage of that wave of hate is actually going to be people who are actually going to like what you're saying. So, well, he got like 7 or 8 million views on TikTok or Twitter or whatever. Like a portion of those views are going to be new people coming into his ecosystem and probably buying something from him. And like another way to like put into perspective, right? Let's say that you were selling like a $500 product, right? And for you to actually make like $1 million a year before taxes, you need to sell that item 2,000 times to make $1 million pre-tax, right? So that's 2,000 people. He has what 865,000 people on his YouTube channel. What are the odds that at the very least 2,000 people would have bought a $500 product from him? Probably a good amount, right? And I remember a long time ago where there was an individual who only had like 1 or 2 thousand subscribers on their YouTube channel, and they were bringing in like $300 to $400,000 a month, which is insane to me. But they were actually doing those numbers, and they showed their numbers that they were actually doing. Like it's crazy. But this is the thing: if you're able to build some sort of following to whatever degree, you could potentially actually make this type of money. So it's not really out of the realm. And he basically got what he wanted, which was attention. By the way, if you want to learn how to get out of debt, go down below and learn how I got out of debt and grew my net worth. Oof, interesting.